So I've been producing films, photo shoots, commercials for almost a decade. And in a world where so many people are making content for their company or for themselves at a variety of scales, it's really, really important that things run smoothly. And I had a client recently do a photo shoot and it did not run smoothly at all. The photographer did not show up in the way that she wanted. The day was kind of a mess, and we ended up talking about what she could have done in the future to prevent this from happening. So I wanted to share our approach to making a call sheet, which is one of the most important things when you're doing a shoot. It doesn't matter if it's a super low budget and no one's getting paid, few person shoot, or it's a massive multi-million dollar film that you're working on. Having a call sheet is so important. So I'm going to go over the call sheets that we've made and used over the years when it comes to client productions, again, at various scales. I'm going to go over each part, how you can set it up for yourself, and then there's a link below. If you want to use it for yourself, just make a copy and you can download it. So this is an actual call sheet from a shoot that we did. You can see the logo of the company up here, and we usually will just grab the logo and put it in the top so everyone knows what shoot it is. This is one of the most important areas of a call sheet. So the date, I'll usually even highlight that in yellow, and then number of days that you're shooting. The crew call time, which is when people would come to set up. That's not necessarily your talent or your models, but it's when the shoot will officially kind of start for the setup. Shooting call time, so that's when we'd start shooting. So the cameraman and every sound and producers are called for 9:30, and we're hoping to start shooting at 11:30. Lunch, we're hoping to be at 1:30, and then camera wrap at 5, which means that that's where we're kind of stopping, and there'll be some time to tear down as well. And then you can put set contact in here. That's just a name and a phone number. Then up here, we've got, the company name, which would be you, the producers, that's me and some of the other guys that I run the agency with, the directors of the shoot up here, and then where the location is, also super, super important because, so I'd even highlight that in yellow too, to be honest. Parking is another important thing to put on it, and at the bottom, or actually on this one, you'll see that there's a map of the location, which sometimes has parking. The nearest hospital is something that's also on a lot of call sheets because you never know what's going to happen on set. And then you've got weather, so that's just you go onto the weather network, you look up the day, and you put what people might expect, and then that helps them understand what they should wear and if they can drive or walk or whatever the case may be. Now, next, under shot descriptions, these are the shots that they wanted to get, and they wanted to get about 6. So they put shot numbers. This is the same if you're doing a photo shoot or a documentary or anything like that. You want to, before you go into it, understand how many shots you actually want to get, and then under description, write down what those shots are. So we wanted to get ingredient displays because this is for a food brand. We wanted to get prepping in the kitchen, packing into jars, packaging, and it just helps kind of guide the shoot. After that, you want to put the talent, how many talent is coming. Could be your actors or your models or your presenters, what their names are. You want to give them a call time. Don't call them at the same time as the crew. You want to call them definitely later on in the day because they don't necessarily want to be sitting around all that time. Have their phone number and email in case anybody's late. And then this is SWF, starts for start, work, finish. So because this is a one-day shoot, it's SWF. So they started the work and they're finishing on this day. If it's a more than one day shoot, you might put SW if it's their first day and they're going to work more than one day. Or WF if it's work finish. This is their last day on set. Then the part down here is mainly for crew. So you've got titles like producer, creative director, director of photography, the grip and cam op. And then under departments, we've got some prop department, camera. This is the stuff we're shooting on, Red Gemini 6K, and what we're trying to get, website plus advertising content. There was some sliders, some of the lenses that were being used. We also did some shooting on an iPhone 4K, on an iPhone in 4K for TikTok and Instagram content and BTS. And then we also used a Sony A7R III. And you can kind of look at this when you download it. Also what lights were there, and then what sound and who was doing it. So under option 2, this one's a little bit longer because it was just a much more intricate shoot, but I wanted to put it on because you never know how big your days are, sort of what's going to happen. So again, logo, all this stuff is the same. The way you determine when you do these things is basically you want to ask your DP or the person shooting it or anyone who's bringing gear how long it's going to take them to set up the gear, how long it's going to take them to tear down. And so that, okay, we've got everything together, we're totally wrapped. Those are the first two things that I personally start with when I'm producing any shoot. And then based on that, I build in look at how many shots we can get and how much time we can allot to those shots. So for this one here, in the schedule overview, we had to have people come at 7:30 because it was going to take at least a few hours to get set up. Then we do presenter call times. They go into makeup. So you ask the makeup artist, how long is that going to take you? She says 2 hours. Okay. So while makeup is going, we can be doing setting up. Once they're done, we can start shooting. So this was going to take 2 hours and 40 minutes. Then we had another presenter come who was going to work in the afternoon. Everyone goes for lunch. Then we had another presenter come after lunch, and then we just sort of roll through each one. If you're directing, the person who will help you do this is your AD, your assistant director, as well as the producer. So again, you want to make sure you know how long everything is going to take, because this is the biggest thing. So for instance, on that shoot, she asked him, how long is it going to take you to set up? He said an hour. I thought it was going to be 3 hours. And then it ended up being 3 hours, just based on what he was bringing and what they were doing. So you need to really work with people who understand how long it takes, or it's going to mess up your whole call sheet and it's going to mess up the day. And then the AD, the assistant director, can be there on set helping and saying, okay, we only have 5 minutes left to get this. We only have this long to get this. We need to hurry up. They're there to kind of really keep time and make sure that we're following this. Cast call, times, when they're going to be in hair, when they're going to be in makeup, when they're going to be on set. So for instance, Jacqueline was called for 9, then she was in hair, then she was in makeup, and we were hoping to start shooting past 10:20, and then there's notes. She could not go past 12 that day, so we got to make sure she's out of there by noon. Then these were some of the brand reps that came. This was a Bobby Brown sheet. I've removed their names and information, but you can see I kind of sometimes call the brand reps flex call time because like they don't really need to be there all the time. So it's kind of, you can come anytime between this. And then this was our crew for the day with all the call times here, their emails, their phone numbers, and any notes that's related. Any set requirements, a steamer because we had some outfits, and then any shoot notes. So just here's where the shoot is, here's a link, and then we usually even put a map here. This is a shoot in New York at B Electric Studios. So hopefully this was helpful. The link is below. Good luck on all of your shoots, and see you in another one.